Welcome everyone to this session, Oxford Brookes University project submission orientation session. In this session, we're going to discuss how you guys can submit the project and what are the ways that we can opt for to make sure that we will be doing this session or will be doing this project in an easy way. So let's start. I think most of you had already joined, and I'm going to kick it off. And if you guys have any question in between, just open your mic and ask the question so that it would be an interactive session and we're going to discuss things along. So before going into this project, the basic requirements of OBU thesis includes you should be you must have completed your skill level exams, and on top of it you must have completed all the papers until F9. You have not taken any exemptions for these papers, especially F7, F8 and F9, all these three papers. On top of it, you should be considering other thing, that is you must have completed your ethics module, EPSM module, max by September 20th. I think September 20th, 2025 is the deadline for the submission of EPSM module. Once you're going to pay for this module, you have 10 attempts to complete this module, to pass this module. Again, you need to ensure that they are just, I think, last 3 or 4 modules or the sections of this module are being bit difficult. Rest the whole module is pretty easy and you can easily complete that module. So make sure you are completing these things before planning to submit your project, right? So these are a few of the things. Before going into this, the submission date is November, or you can see the first week of November 2025 is the deadline for the submission of this project, right? Okay, let's move further and let's discuss about what are the things that we should be considering or we should be focusing on while working on this project. So first and foremost thing is you should be looking into the topic areas those were provided by Oxford Brookes University to you guys, on the basis of which you can complete your project. So there are 15 topics in total, 15 topics in total that you are available with and you can complete your project. Okay, normally student focuses on ACCA student focuses on 3 basic topics. Those are related to ratio analysis. I'll be discussing the reason later in this session as well, but first thing, I'll be discussing the very first project with you, or very first topic area with you, to give you an idea what this topic actually stands for and how we can complete up this topic, right? Okay, let's discuss this topic. This topic is actually related to analysis and evaluation, and evaluate the impact on the business and financial performance of an organization, of an aspect of an organization performance management system. So in this topic area, your focus should be related to the performance management of the company, right? Performance management of the organization. So that's your core area where you should be focusing, or our main focus or our main concern would be this specific area where we would be considering that how we would be coping up with all these things, or this specific area. So what are the things, or what are the specific areas we should be considering or we should be focusing? Let's see. First and most thing is area that would be considered include budgetary control systems. So how the organization is controlling its budget. So that's the very first thing. Second, costing techniques. What are the costing techniques those were used by the organization in order to make sure that it's focusing on the products and they are giving accurate costing techniques to the product? That might include the variable costing or marginal costing techniques, or the life cycle costing techniques, or any other costing techniques those you have studied in your F5 course. Then environmental performance management of that organization, how the organization has effectively managed its organization's policy or its environmental policies. And now this is the core for your topic number 1. This is something it's required. Assess the internally generated information. Access to the internally generated information is essential for this part. For this topic area, you must make sure that you have an access to the internally generated information. This is one reason why I would say that students are not going to prefer this topic, because of the reason that they don't have the access to this information. Hence, I would say that this is going to be the area where students most of the time don't prefer while working on these topics. But again, as most of the students don't have access to this specific area. Now, there is one more thing that is important on which I'm going to discuss is sometimes you might be sharing the information, the internal information, which is confidential information, and that information should not be shared with any external parties or the individuals. So there is always a risk of sharing some sort of information which is confidential. So as far as this topic is concerned, I normally don't recommend the students that they have or they must be focusing on this specific topic area. Again, if you're looking into topic number 2, you are going to find out the same thing. You must have an access to the internally generated information. Again, this is not our core area, or this is not the area where we should be focusing. Our focus should be for the selection, or our focus should be diverted to the topic area where we should be relying on external source of information, not the internal sources. So let's see, there I have already mentioned that most of the students prefer the topic areas where ratio analysis have been mentioned. So there are 3 basic topic areas: topic number 4, topic number 5, and topic number 8. So these are the 3 topics on which we should be considering the external information. Okay, before going into these topics or before discussing the basics of these topics, I would just be looking into I think where we could find more appropriate information about the topic areas, or we can look into that aspect. Let me search that part where you would be provided with further details how you can look into those specific areas. So every sort of information is available on this in this document. So you should be like focusing on those things, academic integrity, and okay. Now, on this page number 44 of this document, OBU info pack, you'll find out what are the things that you should be focusing in your project. Let's see, this is topic number 1. This is topic number 1 on which we were opting for, or if suppose we were considering to work on this project. This is the same topic. What are the models, frameworks, concepts that may be relevant? This is not an exhaustive list. That's in this exclusion clause made by an OBU, that you can use any other relevant topic area that you seem is relevant while analyzing this or while working on this thesis, right? There may be others. Make sure you justify your choices of the models you are applying to your thesis. Okay, as you are focusing on internally generated information, which is not our core area, but I'm just going to give you an idea how we should be focusing on the rest of the topics. So the critical success factors, KPIs, and any business model that you are going to apply should be considered. So these are the models or the frameworks. Rest, what you can apply, what are the types of the budget the organization is using, types of budgets. So if you are external or if you're not part of an organization, you don't have access to the factors or to the budgetary systems or the budget planning process. You're not aware of what types of budget the organization is using. Again, what are the variances and how these variances are controlled by the organization. So these are some things that you should be considering. Then types of costing the organization might have used, you have already looked into on the page number 12 of this topic area, where we will be looking into the models or the specific areas where you should consider. The one is budgetary control, second is the costing technique, and third one is environmental management. Now, so we move to page number 44, again, going back to this topic, you can find out that first is types of budgets and variances. You should be looking what budget types the organization is using and how the variances are controlled or how the variances are managed. Second is types of costing, like life cycle costing technique or absorption costing or marginal costing or accounting for overhead techniques they use. So these are few things those should be considered. Then environmental performance, like a GRI, integrated reporting framework, or capital SDGs. These are different models that you might have studied in your F1 syllabus or in your SBL course, might be looking into it. But again, I've already told you that this topic is not something our bread and butter. So we should not be focusing on this specific topic. Then return on investment and residual income. These are few other KPIs that you can use to assess the financial performance of an organization. So right now we have looked into the areas we should be focusing on this project. Okay, I'm going back to page number 12, where we would be looking into the rest of the topic areas, which were specifically focusing on the ratio analysis of the ratio analysis part, and we should be considering those topics. Okay, topic number 4, as I have already told you, that this is related to the ratio analysis, and we should be applying the ratio analysis on our organization that we might have opted for, right? Okay, let's see. Analyze and evaluate the business and financial performance of an organization which have performed exceptionally poorly over the 3 years period, with a critical analysis of the reasons for its difficulty. So this part is again important for us, with the aspect that we should be considering the reasons for the poor performance of the company. Now, topic 4 is specifically focusing on the poor performing companies. So first thing is, whenever you are opting for this topic area and you should be choosing an organization, your focus should be, you should be considering the company which is performing very poor. So your first thing or your first important task for topic number 4 is the poor performing company search, right? Poor performing company. So this is the first part, right? Again, what you're going to do next is how you can analyze the project. We're going to discuss it later on. Topic number 5 is again the same topic with just a slight change. What that change is, your focus should be on the company that performed exceptionally well over 3 years period. So in this case, your first thing in this topic area, your focus should be the selection of the exceptionally well-performing company, right? So these are the two different, the same topic areas, but with the two different dimensions, right? So topic 4 is focusing on the poor performance of a company, and your analysis must focus the reason that results into the poor performance of the company. For topic number 5, you should be selecting a company that is performing exceptionally well, and your analysis should be centered towards the exceptionally well performance of the company. What are the reasons? What are the factors that results in the exceptional well performance of the company? You got the idea? The difference between topic N and topic 4 and topic 5. You are doing the same thing but with the different directions. In topic 4, your direction is to evaluate the reasons of poor performance of a company. For topic 5, your focus would be the exceptional performance of the company. Okay. Now, let's look into topic number 8 that I have already mentioned again. Topic number 4 is, or topic number 8 is again the ratio analysis of a company, but we have a very different focus on it. Okay, any question right now? Wahid, you have any question?
Hello, assalamu alaikum, sir. Hello.
Yes.
My question is it possible, sir, to combine both topics 4 and 5? For example, have a company that has done exceptionally well and compare that to a neutral company or an average, sector average in the same industry with a company that has done exceptionally poor. So then you get a double comparison as such. Is that possible, or do you have to just stick to one topic?
No. You should be sticking to one way. Okay. You need to understand here one thing. If you are choosing a topic number 5 in which you are evaluating the exceptionally well performing company, so you should, or for the ease of your comparison, you should be selecting a company which is not doing much well compared to your main company, right? Again, this is not hard and fast rule, but this is something to make your analysis more fruitful, more understandable, more in line towards the topic, right? So your focus would be the exceptional well-performing performance of your main company, right? That's the main idea. So you cannot mix those topics, right? Okay, now if it's clear, then I'll be moving to topic number 8.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
Good
fine.
to go?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, you're welcome. Okay, topic number 8 is again related to the ratio analysis for an organization, but here your way out is different. Your directions would be different. Now you should be focusing on those companies or those sectors. An organization in a sector, that sector is facing strategic and operational challenges. So it has a total different direction, a different dimension compared to the rest of the two topics. In topic 4 and topic 5, we were looking into exceptional well and exceptionally poor performance of a company. But in topic number 8, we would be considering a company or a sector that is facing strategic and operational challenges. And we should be selecting a company within that sector, right? So that's something we need to determine which sector is actually like facing strategic and operational challenge. So that's the first thing, right? Okay. Afterwards, what we need to do is we should be looking into that company which has like which is facing operational and strategic challenges. So what we are going to do, we need to be looking into, or our emphasis would be on the viewpoint that how the management have addressed those challenges. So whether the management is capable of managing those or managing those challenges well, or if they are not capable of managing those challenges. This is a way out where we should be considering those things. So our focus would be how efficiently the organization or the management has managed those challenges. So that's the main focus area. So you would either, irrespective whether the management is efficiently or is capable of managing those challenges, or the management has not been capable of managing those challenges. So this is not a differentiation in this topic area. You should be just evaluating how effectively or whether the management has addressed the challenges or not, or what are the steps the management has taken to overcome those challenges. So that's the basic differentiation. Okay, now I'll be moving to page number 45, where we can look into the specific things that we can consider. Like that, I have told you what are the frameworks, the models, or the concept that are relevant to the topic number 4, topic 5, or topic 8. You will be looking into that all the models or the frameworks remains the same. Just only difference is the idea or the dimensions of that topic area that we need to focus. Okay. For topic number 4, for strategic analysis of the external environment of an organization, your focus would be, or you might be either selecting pastoral analysis or Porter 5-4 model of an organization. So you might apply any of these two, right? Then for strategic analysis of an organization about its financial position or the business position, you might be applying the SWOT analysis or value chain or business canvas model, any other model you seem appropriate in that specific situation. So that's another idea. Okay, the third thing is for the financial analysis of an organization, you should be doing the financial analysis or the ratio analysis. Again, you can see for topic number 4, for external analysis, we have the same models. For strategic analysis of a business position of an organization, we should be applying the SWOT and the value chain or business canvas. And again, for the financial performance, we'll be looking into financial analysis, like the ratio analysis model, right? So again, in topic number 8, if you can look into it, even in topic number 8, you'll be finding out the same things. So there's no differentiation. So this is how, first thing is you can evaluate, or you can make an idea on which topic we'll be start working on. Okay, now, before moving onwards, I have created one Excel sheet on which we can get a better idea what are the main things that we need to focus upon. Okay, I have already told you that we have for 15 odd topics, those should be considered. And now we'll be looking into what are these topics and what are the importance of these topics. Okay, you might have looked into, I have bold out topic number 5, and I normally, I won't say I recommend, I would say I suggest to the students that topic number 5 is the easiest topic among topic number 8 and topic number 4. Now you need to understand why. I normally say, if you are, if anyone told you that you should be telling your strengths about yourself, so you might be telling, I am doing this thing good, I'm doing this thing good, I'm doing this thing good. So you have plenty of things that you can explain good things about you, and you can portray those things to others. Now let's see, if someone is going to ask you that you should be telling what are the bad things about yourself, or what are things that are not good about you. So once you will be saying this, then you should be thinking twice, what are those things that are bad about me? And you will be trying your best that you are hiding actual bad things about yourself, right? So in the same way, when you are reading the financial statement for an organization, the organization is trying to make sure that it's hiding its actual poor performance indicators. So you need to deep dive into the financials of the organization or into the online research things to make sure that you get the real picture of the company. What are those factors those have resulted into the poor performance of a company? So you need to work a lot much when you are going to select topic number 4. So it's a bit more difficult compared to topic number 5. Now let's discuss about topic number 8. This is among the most difficult among these topics. It's the most difficult one. First task is to assess which sectors actually facing strategic and operational challenges. Then you need to select an organization. Then you need to find out what are those strategic and operational challenges those the company is facing. Right now, you have to do something extra within this topic. I would suggest, or I would recommend here, the topic number 4 is going to give you a very huge learning prospect. But again, it's taking a lot of time for you guys, a lot of compassion from your side, that you would be selecting this topic number 8. This is more in-depth analysis of an organization, of a sector, and evaluation of the strategic and operational challenges. So this is going to be the most difficult part, the most difficult topic areas within these 3 topic areas, right? Okay. Now, once you have selected your topic area, whether it's topic 4, topic 5, topic 8, or any other topic, if you have, or if you want to look into any other topic, and if you want any guidance for that specific topic, let me know. I will be providing you for the guidance on that specific topic. But right now, I'll be trying my best to limit ourselves to these 3 topic areas to make sure that we will be actually getting the most insight into these topics, to make sure that we will be getting the better idea of how we are going to prepare our project with this topic specific to this topic area, right? Okay, now let's see. Once you have selected the topic, now you need to select the sector of the organization. So whenever you are looking into the organization, I always recommend, now this is my recommendation, that you should be selecting a company that is a big company, that's a giant company, a multinational company, right? Why I'm saying so? I'm saying so because when you are relying, as we are relying on the secondary source of information, that is, we will be relying on the information that is publicly available. So we need to provide references of that information within our project. So you need to make sure that we'll be selecting a company about which we have a lot of information available on internet websites or over the internet sources, right? Or over the other sources. So if you are selecting a local company or a small company, so analysts don't bother much about the analysis or about the performance of that company, the business analysts. So you might not be getting a huge information over the internet, and you might feel very uncomfortable while working on that specific company, but because you're not finding out plenty of information over the internet. So your focus would be evaluation of the multinational companies. Those are big and giant companies, so you should be focusing on that, right? I have given few of the examples of those companies, but this is not an exhaustive list. These are just an example. You can either select it, or you might not be going to select any of the companies from this list. You can select any company, whatever you feel comfortable with, but make sure that about that company you have a lot of information available over the internet, right? Okay, now let's see. I might have selected AMD as the main company and Intel as its competitor, right? Now AMD is a technology company, and I need to use another company that's a competitor company. Now, once you have selected that company, you should be like doing other things. What that thing is, you should be like doing just a minute. Okay, what we need to do is, once we have selected a company, for example, we have selected like AMD as a main company, you need to go through, or you need to download the annual reports of the company, for main company and for the competitor companies both. Okay, if you are selecting a company if you have selected AMD as a main company, how you can download its financials? You can select AMD Investor Relations page. So on this page, you can find out the financial results of the company. You can select this investor relation page, or when from this financial information, you can find out what are the SEC filings, and from here you can find out what are those filings. Okay, I'm just selecting the annual reports of this company. So these are the annual reports of the company. You can download these in like PDF form, and you can extract data from these within your Excel sheet. I'll be discussing later on these things, right? Again, about Intel, you can select Intel Investors Relations page, and you can select this page. From where you can find out the financials of this company, again in the same way that you have already selected for AMD. So once you have downloaded all the financials of main and the company, now we need to evaluate the 3 years of the main company, of the company that is doing very well, or the company that is doing it's doing very poor, or a company that is facing strategic or operational challenges. We need 3 years, the most recent 3 years. For example, we have 2024 as the most recent year end of AMD. So for 2024, or analysis of 2024, we need 2023 year end, right? And for the analysis of 2023 year end, we need to look into 2022 year end. And for 2022 analysis, we need 2021 for comparison purposes, right? So in which year the company is doing well, right? In the same way, you need to compare the competitor companies' annual reports. Okay, now there are 2 ways to compare the competitor company. One is, you might either doing the analysis of the main company and the competitor company year over year. Like you are analyzing 2024 year end of the main company, and then you are analyzing the 2024 of the competitor company. Then you are analyzing 2023 of the main company, year end of the main company, and you would be analyzing, or you would be comparing the performance of the competitor company in 2023 year end, so on and so forth, right? But there is another way around. You might be analyzing the most recent 3 years of the main company, right? Along with it, you are just analyzing the most recent year end of the competitor company, right? So for that matter, you only need 2024, the most recent year end of the company, and for the analysis of 2024, you need 2023 of the competitor company. So you have extract just 2 years of the competitor company. You're not supposed to use the 4 years of the competitor. Normally, it's depending upon the student, whatever the student prefers, but it's better to go with this format. The reason is because we are provided with the limited word count. So we need to make sure that we are utilizing the best out of these word count. So for that matter, you can go either way. It's up to you, but it's recommended that you can select the second part of this project, right? This is the way out how you can analyze the performance of a company, right? Okay, now the next thing is, once you have selected the company, main company and the competitor company, and you have downloaded the financials of the main company and the competitor company, now your work is starting on your financials of the company. Now, you need to update 5 basic files. Those are required by the OBU project. The very first file is your Excel file. It's pretty easy and straightforward file, and you can easily complete that file. You need to copy your financials from the annual report of the company, the main company and the competitor company, and paste those data or pull those data into your Excel sheet, right? Whatever you have created, right? Again, make sure you are considering the original data. You should not be using the restated data, right? But just giving you an idea how you can work upon those things. I'm just going to share just one example here. So you can see this is the financials of Tesla company that a student has extracted. This is the income statement, and this is the balance sheet of Tesla company. Then the 4 most recent years end of the company. Again, this is the most recent 2 years of competitor company, Ford Motors, right? So you can find out that this is how you can extract. Once you have extracted the financial, let's look into another example. This presentation is purely dependent upon the student, whichever presentation the student prefers, but it's up to how you can look into it. Okay, now let's see. This is about April INC, in which the student has just taken the 3 years income statement, balance sheet of the competitor company. You can see these are the 3 years, right? So these students have taken their own presentation. And just to give you an idea, I would be just sharing one more example with you guys so that you get a better idea. So this is about the Fuji Fertilizers, a Pakistani company. These are the most recent 4 years of the main company. And this is Fatma Fertilizers. There are just 2 most recent year ends of the company, right? So the balance sheets of the competitor company and the main company, you can see the presentation is different for each student. So there's no hard and fast rule that you're going to follow any of the presentation style. It's up to you. Whichever presentation suits you, you can use that presentation, right? And you can apply those presentation styles, right? Okay, now, once you have extracted the data into your Excel sheets, now you need to calculate the ratios of the main company and the competitor, right? So there are a few of the ratios that might have given the profitability ratio, the liquidity ratio, the solvency ratio, or the industry ratio, right? Now, I would recommend that you should not be going, or you should not be using less than 8 to 9 ratios. I would say 8 ratios, 8. You should be doing, or you should be calculating a minimum of 8 ratios and a maximum of 12 ratios. You should not be going beyond the 12 ratio, the count. Because if you are going, or if you are using more than 12 ratios, it's going to be very, very difficult for you guys that you should be summing up your project in 7,500 word count limit. It's going to be very, very difficult. Right now, students, think about it, that 7,500 is a huge number count. But again, when you move to the project, and once we will be looking into the second file, the RAP file, we'll find out that it's a very small number count. Once you started working on your project, your word count would be going to exceed this 7,500 word count limit, and then you'll be finding out ways how I can reduce the word count. Because if you go beyond 7,500 word count, this limit, examiner is not going to check any further thing within your project. So you should be focusing that your word count should be within that limit, 7,500 words. If there is any further words, the examiner is not going to consider those words within your project, right? So your focus would be how you can utilize these word counts effectively. So our focus in this session is the same thing, right? Okay. These are the ratios. Along with it, with these ratios, you should be considering, you might be considering any other KPIs. Those might be return on investment or residual income or any other indicator that you might focus upon, right? Once you have calculated the ratios, the next thing is you should be creating the graph of these ratios within the Excel sheet. Okay, you have any question, right? Yes, please.
Hello, sir. So
Yes.
with those ratios, approximately 10 ratios, are they for each of those years, for each of for both of those companies, the comparator and the original chosen company? So in effect, you have 3 times 2 times 10 ratios. Is that correct?
Yes, but you have calculated the ratios for the main company and the competitor company in the same way. Okay, make sure all of you I think ensure you're not using the controls. It's going to create some sort of issues, problem, right? Okay. Okay, Waleed, your question was?
So what I'm saying, I'm saying is that those ratios, if one chooses approximately 10, they're for each of those 3 years for both the comparator and the original company chosen. So that's potentially 3 times 2 times 10, so 60 ratios approximately. But my more important question, sir, is on the Excel file, do we have to put more advanced analysis, like for example, advanced pivot tables and so on into there to analyze, to be able to analyze this?
Yes, you can. I'm not going to share a few of the examples. Those are going to be very much complicated, and those are because of the confidentiality aspect. I'm not going to share those details with you. But again, this is depending upon the student. There are few of my students, those have done very well. They might have looked into the segment reporting. They might have created few graphs. Those are related to segmental revenue of the organization. For example, they are analyzing the revenue growth. So they might be calculating, or they might be creating another graph that is considering the segmental revenue of an organization. So that's another vision of the individual student. So it depends in how much depth the student want to go into, right? So it depends purely on the student. It's not something OBU is going to limit you. OBU is going to prefer such things which was done by a student and they took it very well, and they will be considering it very well, that this is something the student is doing. And it's like really important that you were doing things in this way, right? So it always depends upon. I'm not sharing that example right now. I'm just sharing very simple and straightforward examples. Those are not making any complexities, right? And those are very straightforward for the basic things. This is how you can calculate the ratios. You can find out these are ratios. I hope it's clear to you, Wahid.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Yes, I mean, you've got the tab there at the sheet there on the graphs, but what I was saying was with the particular graphs, the more advanced tools of pivot table, advanced Excel, etc.
Yes, you can. You can, and frankly speaking, this was, I think, very much welcomed by the examiner if you're doing those advanced research. But again, make sure you should not be going that much advanced research, which is not expected at this level. It's a graduate program, and you're not doing a master's program, so you should make sure that it seems to be a project done by a student who is of graduate level, right?
And is those word count 7,500 is that part of the, or whatever you write in the Excel sheet, are they part of that 7,500, or is that only applied to the word file, word count on the word file?
No. 7,500 word count is purely related to this RAP file, the second file. I'll be discussing about it. This 7,500 word count is purely related to the Word file. It's nothing to do with the Excel file. Excel file is a separate file, and it doesn't include any of the word count, right? Okay.
Okay. Oh, and just very finally, sir, thank you very much. I do apologize. I'm taking too much time. Thank you. Final question, sir.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. The session is for you guys.
Is when it comes to the marking, these are the 5 main files, but is there any idea of how much weighting is given to each part, the Excel file, if that is done to a high standard, how much marking is allocated to that compared to the Word wrap file, compared to the presentation slides? Are there markings allocated to that? Or is it just an overall weighting?
I would say that I was doing mentoring from past many years, and specifically when I was considering that, my opinion is that most of the time students fail in this RAF file, in this skill learning statement, and within the presentation file, right? These are the three basic files. Those were very much focused by the examiner, but that doesn't mean that examiner is not going to look into or is not going to give any weightage to the Excel file. Excel file is given the same weightage because from this Excel file, you're using the data within your Word file. For example, the graphs you're going to create after you have calculated these ratios, you will be creating these graphs. These graphs are copied from this Excel sheet and are pasted into your Word file, a creation of a link between your Word file and Excel file. So automatically your Excel file was pulled into your Word file and the weightage was already there. So you cannot eliminate the weightage of any file, or you cannot think that examiner is going to focus on any specific file. All the files have been given with the equal weightage. Exception is there are some students, I think there was one student who was, I think it was like 3 or 4 years back, one of the students who got his project, an unsuccessful attempt in like 2-3 years back, just with respect to this bibliography file, right? Again, this bibliography file was something in which you are just putting in the like references, just extracting the references. This was just a click away file, right? You're just going to click one command in your Word file and you have created your bibliography file, but still this was given equal importance. So you cannot ignore any of these files within your project. So important thing is we should be focusing among all of these files. We'll be giving our best for all of the files, right? Okay, any question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, these are the graphs. This is one example. Just look into this another example. You can find out these are the ratios, how the student have calculated the ratio. It's altogether a different way of calculating those ratios. And then these are the graphs which are created by the student. It's altogether in a different way. The student has created ratios, again, duplicate the ratios here, and then he has created those graphs. Then just looking into the third file, which was, let me open up that file, I think. Okay, this is the third file where you can find out the student has already created the ratios and the graph on the same file. So this is another way of creating the graphs and preparing your Excel file within your project. But this is just an example. You can see there are many ratios those students have calculated, and these were a few of the ratios where they have considered many things. But this is how you can do your best, or you can calculate the ratios, or you can work upon your file. This was the Excel file that you're going to create. Now, the next file is the Word file, right? And the word count limit of 7,500 is specific to this Word file, the RAP file. This RAP file was divided into 3 specific chapters. Chapter 1 is related to the introduction part. In this introduction, you are just giving a brief overview about yourself, like how you have actually landed into this OBU project, why you have selected topic number 5, what were the reasons that you have selected a specific company, what are the research objectives and research questions you have developed for this project, and what are the ethical considerations while you're working on this project. Then in this chapter number 1, you should not be going beyond 900 to 950 words. Again, this chapter 1 is not, I'm not going to say specifically that it's about the story writing, but it's about your own thing, your own intent, why you have selected topic number 5 or topic number 4. Again, why you have selected a specific company, that's about your way of saying things about, and what actually pulled you or what motivated you to do this OBU thesis or OBU degree, OBU program? What are the research objectives and research questions? What are the ethical considerations? So these totals around 900 words for this chapter. The second chapter is about the basic explanation of the models. I hope you recall we have discussed about few of the models. What were those specific models here in this topic? This topic number 4, we need to explain what is a pastel model, and we would be just giving a detailed explanation of this pastel model, SWOT model, value chain, or business canvas, or Porter 5% model. But within this chapter number 2, in this Excel sheet, in this chapter number 2, we would only be defining these models. We are not applying these models on the organization that we have selected, right? In this chapter number 2, we were just explaining what are these models, what is the secondary source of information, what are primary source of information, what sources or what secondary source of information that you have used while working on this project. And again, what is SWOT analysis? What is PEST analysis? What are the limitations of SWOT analysis? What are the limitations of Porter 5% model or business canvas model? And what are the ratio analysis? You should be defining each and every ratio within this chapter number 2, just defining those ratios. What does revenue growth means? What does profitability, gross profit margin ratio explains, or what does a net profit margin portrays to the investors or to the viewers of the organization or those who are concerned about the performance of the company. So in chapter number 2, you are actually giving an idea about the models. Then you should be providing a brief overview of what is the research approach that you have taken out while working on this project, right? But again, chapter number 2 is not again difficult one. It's again in other words, it's again a story writing thing. But ensure that you are writing all these definitions on your own. You're not copying or into your RAF in your Word file from any of the website, from any of the source, because that's going to create plagiarism. It's resulted into state failure. So make sure anything you are writing within your project should be your own written thing, right? It should not be plagiarized. Again, this third chapter, which is the basically, or which is actually the whole project, I would say. First, you should be applying the SWOT or the business or the PAST or the Porter 5% model or business canvas model on your main company. You're analyzing the business performance of your main company within this chapter number 3. First thing is you should be providing a brief overview of the company, a brief history of your main company. Then you should be starting your analysis of the company via business analysis. First, you should be doing either PEST, Porter 5% model, SWOT model, business canvas, or the what was another model that was within that topic, or your value chain or business canvas model. Any of the model you should be applying in chapter number 3. But now you should be applying this model specific to your company, that how your company have performed. Or what are the strengths of your company? What are the political factors those are impacting companies? What are the customers' rivalry which is impacting your business organization? So those are the few things you should be considering, right? Okay. I won't say that you should be using AI for writing of your project, because this is going to create AI plagiarism again, which is not acceptable within the as per the OBU guidelines. So now you will be getting 2 plagiarisms. One is your similarity plagiarism, that you have copied the data written by any other individual. This is what it's named as similarity index. And then the second one known as AI index. If you have written anything in your project and that was caught by the AI, then it's again a cheating thing. So you should be doing, this is your own project, you should be doing on your own. You cannot rely on the AI for creation of your project. So make sure you're doing it on your own. I hope it's clear to you. Okay, the next thing is once you're done with the business analysis, the next thing is now you'll be doing the ratio analysis part. For example, the revenue growth. You should be explaining what are the factors that had impacted the revenue growth of an organization in 2024. It could be the product placement. It could be the pricing strategy. It could be the marketing strategy. It could be anything else. Anything else that has resulted into the exceptional performance of the company, right? So this chapter number 3, once you are done with this chapter number 3, again, I'm going to break out this, okay, just to give you a word count limit. For chapter number 2, you have a word count limit of 1800 words. I normally recommend 1800 or 1850 words. For chapter number 3, you have left with 4750 words or 4800 words. Now we need to break out this 4,800 words. Your business analysis should not go beyond 1,200 words, right? And once you are going to write for your business analysis, you might be writing like more than 2,000 words for this business analysis. But make sure you are limiting yourself. You are applying 2 business models, pest model or pest model or the Porter 5 forces model, or you would be applying SWOT model, value chain, or the business canvas model. But each model should not go beyond 600 word counts, right? So this is your limit. Then you need to look into the ratio analysis. The ratio analysis part should not go beyond 3,100 or 3,200 word count, right? And the last thing is you should be looking into the conclusion and recommendation part, which is again 400 word count, in which you are concluding your findings, and you would be providing recommendations how the company can do better. Like this is what you should be doing. You need to ensure that whether your conclusion or recommendation is right or wrong, your examiner is not going to give you grade based on your conclusion or recommendation, whether it's wrong or correct or incorrect, right? But your examiner is going to give you a fail grade if you are not doing, or if you're not mentioning the conclusion and recommendation at the end of the project. Now just correlate one more thing. I'm going to answer your message just in a minute, right? Just give me 1 minute. I'm just to wind up this one, and then I'm going to come back to your question. Okay, I have already told you that if you exceed the word count limit of 7,500 words, the word count limit of 7,500 words, the examiner is not going to give you any credit or is not going to consider any further words. So if your word count until or before the concluding recommendation reaches 7,500 words, then the rest of the words, irrespective you have mentioned the conclusion recommendation, examiner is going to give you a fail grade, because the examiner is not going to consider the rest of the words that we have mentioned. Once the 7,500 word count limit is reached, examiner is not going to consider any further words for your project. So it's very important for you guys to make sure that you are completing the project, the RAF file, within 7,500 word count limit. So that's really important, right? Okay, now I hope this is clear. How can we check? Okay, I normally provide the pledge report to the students to make sure that there is nothing problematic in their project, but that would be done once you have completed your project. At the end of the project, I'll be giving you a pledge report for this project, right? But at the end of this project, right? I hope this is going to help you out to make sure that nothing such thing is going to happen. Okay. Now, once you're done with this file, your RAF file is completed, and frankly speaking, once you are done with this file, your project is almost completed. Minimum number word count is 7,200. Again, examiner in your OBU info pack, examiner mentioned 7,000 to 7,500 words, but I recommend 7,300 to 7,500. So I don't consider this one. Again, I think it's 7,200. So 7,300 to 7,500 word count. Minimum is 7,300. So you should be capping it up to 7,300 and max to, a lower is 7,300 and the max cap is 7,500. So this is in between. You have a cushion of 200 word counts, right? Okay. And frankly speaking, for you, once you start writing this project, this 7,500 word count is very smaller word count for you guys, and you would be thinking of that you have any sort of additional word count available to us to make sure that we would be doing this project and more efficiently or effectively, right? Okay, now let's discuss about the next. Once you're done with your RAW file, your project is almost over. Then you have another file that is named as skill and learning statement. Within the skill learning statement, you have two questions. I'm going to discuss about these two questions within your within this within this OBU info pack. And within this info pack, I believe we have the guidance of these two questions, and based on which we can look into it. What are these two questions that we should be focusing upon? I have some basic doubts about the eligibility. Yes, please. Yes, please open up your mic. This session is for you guys. Just open up mic and ask the questions.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I hope you're doing well. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So my question is, I have just completed my, I have completed 5 papers. So still I have 4 more papers to complete, like to complete till F9. So as I have read the, I have read about the OBU in the ACCA website, like they have mentioned the last attempt should be to submit the RAP should be on in May 2026, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 26, right. So to eligible for that, can I complete my F9 either like this December within this December 2025, or I can complete even the March 2026 attempt?
I think if you can complete that project even in March, you would be eligible. But make sure, because it's going to be very risky. You should try your best that you are going to complete it max by December. But again, if you're left with the project, then you should be completing it max by March. And if you qualify in March attempt, you are eligible and you can submit your project.
So you mean I can complete my F9, even the last paper I can complete in March 2026 attempt, right?
Yes.
And then I can my RAP submission in May 2026, right?
Yes, you can, but make sure don't defer your plan till March 2026 because it's going to be very risky. Okay. Make sure you are. Yes, please.
And even if we fail like that first submission, and we still have one more chance to submit in
exactly. November 2026 attempt is only available for those students who unfortunately have an unsuccessful attempt in May 2026. But don't think about that. That's
I don't think about that. I just wanted to get a confirmation. And regarding the EPS,
be very positive that you're going to complete it or you're going to qualify it in very first attempt.
Yeah, and regarding the EPSM model, even though before we complete the F9 paper, the last attempt should be this September 2025, as you mentioned, right?
No, you can complete the EPSM module for May 2026 attempt. The last date for submission of a completion of EPSM module would be the March 20th, 2026, right?
March 20th. Okay, noted. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your.
No worries. If there is any further question, do let me know. But make sure don't go into that risky situation. Try to make sure that you have completed the project well before time. Okay, there is one more question. How many times can we approach you during the project, and how many times can we get it reviewed? As the Vifhe says, mentor will review 2 times. Okay. I won't recommend that I'm going to conduct my sessions, but we have this combined session with the students until the student will be moving towards this specific to the chapter number 3. Once the student have moved to the chapter number 3, then we are not going to have the combined sessions. Even Once the student have completed, I would say they have completed their chapter number 1, I'll started doing individual session. And that individual session, once you're done with your chapter number 1, I'm going to conduct a review session. And within that session, I'm going to give you the feedback. And if there are anything that you need to update, I'll be giving you that. Once I have provided you the feedback, then you need to update those specific areas, right? And I try my best that I have given you so much in-depth overview or the feedback that you can easily complete or you can easily update that specific area, and I can review it again, right? This is the way out how I do the work. Secondly, as far as the sessions are concerned, as I think I have already mentioned within the I think within the message that was delivered to you students, that there are one-on-one sessions as well as combined sessions. So this is one combined session in which in this session we are discussing about the general background of the project. If there is some sort of general information that is required for every student, then I'm going to arrange one combined session. But if the session or if the topic is specific to the student, or if it's about the feedback of the student, then we are going to arrange a one-on-one session. And that session we're not going to conduct you can say a live session or a combined session, right? So that's a different way out that this is my different approach that I normally use, right? Okay, Wahid, I think you might have a question. You have raised the hand.
Hello,
Unfortunately,
sir. Hello, hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I just haven't completed SPL. I mean, there is much subjectivity within the ACCA syllabus. So my question really is, upon a conclusion or recommendation, even though your conclusion recommendations are rather unorthodox compared to the markers, they may disagree with it. As long as you've done the analysis, could you still obtain a pass?
Yes. It's basically the analysis part the examiner is evaluating, right? Again, this was mentioned in your OBU pack that examiner is not going to give grading based on the good or better conclusion recommendation. They just consider, because you are a graduate student, and even if there is a student of F9, he might not be much capable of making a realistic approach of recommendation or a conclusion about the performance of a company, because you better understand that with SBL and with SPR or the rest of the papers, you are very much better in a position that you can analyze the performance of a company. Within until skill level exam, you're not capable enough to make a conclusion or recommendation. After you're done with the professional papers, you have developed a new skill that is named as a professionalism or professionalism skill. With the help of that skill, you are capable of analyzing the business performance. So OBU examiner is not considering that the student is much capable of making a conclusion or recommendation. That was actually considered by the OBU examination team, and the same thing was updated within your info pack, right?
So there's no additional marks as such for professional skills like we are used to in SPR and SPL. I mean, certainly the concept of applying skepticism, that can also apply to the very professionals that come up with the orthodox recommendations and conclusion. And you come up with an unorthodox, or challenging them, you come up with an unorthodox recommendation conclusion. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now just look into the second last document that was named as, the skill learning statement. There are two basic questions within the skill learning statement. Within the skill learning statement, the first in question is, how do you have developed personally and professionally as a result of undertaking the research analysis project? So you should be explaining what are the things that you have developed, or what are the new skills. You can see what are those areas that you should be considering. Number one is, what are the new skills that you have acquired and how you have developed them? What new skills you have gained while working on this project and how you have developed these new skills? What are the challenges you faced while working on the project and how you have overcome them? So these are the things that you have developed as professionally or the personally while working on this project. This is related to the part one. So your SLS actually includes 2,000 additional words, 7,500 words for your research analysis project report, and 2,000 words for your skills and learning statement. So you have in total, you have to have write 9,500 words in total, right? Excluding the rest of the things that you are going to update in your Excel sheet and the PowerPoint presentation. So those are additional things. Okay. I'm coming back to the sectors question, but before that, I just want to wind up the skill learning statement. Okay. Question number 2 is related to how will the experience of RAP will help you in future. So while answering this question, you should be considering the experience, how this OBU or the research report experience made you more employable and capable. For example, most of the students who plan to move to US, they will be doing OBU qualification just to make sure that they will become eligible to do CPA or CFA, because the minimum requirement for CPA and CFA is a graduate degree, a graduate program. So a few of my students are doing for that specific area, or there are many other students who are doing their graduation degree to make sure that they will be going for higher education, like master's programs. They getting enrolled themselves in master program and for the PhD programs, or they might have other programs. For example, if some students have a plan to move to UAE, the professional visa requirement or prerequisite requires a minimum graduation qualification, which ACCA students don't have right now, because they can start their ACCA after matriculation or AO and A-level examination. So this was something how your employability will be enhanced after doing this project. The second part is anything or this experience might have influenced your future plans in short term and long term, how your future plans have been impacted while working on this project. So these are the 2 basic questions that you should be doing. So the total word count for the skill learning statement is 2,000 word count. Again, I won't say this is something very technical, but this is again a story writing thing, an experience you're going to share with the examiner, or what you would be having in your mind while working on this research report, that how this research report or this degree is going to help you out in future, right? So that's the basic thing. Okay. Which sector? Just a 5-minute break. I'll be joining in 5 minutes, just after Azan break. Just 5 minutes. Okay, apologies. Just to answer your question about what sector do I normally recommend, I normally don't recommend any of this. It's purely depending upon the student. Whichever sector student prefer, they can go with that sector and they can choose that sector, right? Another concern about that, you should be choosing US or a UK company. It's not even something I recommend. You can select any company from any sector that's a big and giant company. There are a lot many companies, those are from Danish, those are Danish companies. There are a lot many companies, those are like Italian companies, or McDonald's and many other companies, which you can select in food industries and beverages industries, Coke or Pepsi, or a lot of other companies. So it's nothing to say that you should be choosing a company from specific US or UK. You can select any company across board, but make sure that's a multinational and a big company that was analyzed by most of the analysts, and we can find plenty of information about that company over the internet. So that's the basic theme, right? Or that's the basic scope for ourselves. So I am not buying of that thing that you should be only selecting UK or US company. Yes, banking sector is a good option but I think there are very limited students that those focuses on this specific sector, because you need to focus, or you need to have a very different sort of knowledge, required knowledge for this specific sector. For example, capital adequacy section, which none of the students have already gone through it, or there's another ratio that is named as DuPont analysis that was required for the banking sector, and you must have an idea about how you're going to do it. So there are some different prospects for banking sector. So if someone is going to select that, I recommend that if you have a good understanding about the banking sector, then only you should be going with that project. If you don't have that much in-depth understanding of that specific topic, don't go, don't select that specific topic, right? Okay. Now, the next file is, I hope you got the answer, right? Okay. The next thing is, or the next file is, or the second large file is the PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint presentation is just a summary of your RAV file, this RAV file. So I have already told you, once you are done with your SLS file, you can consider that you are almost done with the project. There's almost nothing left. The only thing left is you need to make a presentation of this RAV file, and your slides should not go beyond 12 to 15 slides. And frankly speaking, I'm going to tell you that in this PowerPoint presentation, you should be focusing specifically on chapter number 1 somehow, and on chapter number 2. Very small amount of data was taken from chapter 1 and chapter number 2, but this is basically about the explanation of this chapter number 3. So mainly your PowerPoint presentation relies on chapter number 3 of your RAV file, and in this PowerPoint presentation, you should be getting the summary of chapter number 3 within your PowerPoint presentation. Once you're done with this PowerPoint presentation, this is the bibliography file. This was just a click away. You need to click one, just one. You need to click one command in this Word file, and then we can say in this references, from this bibliography tab, just insert bibliography, and you can find out there's no sources in the document, but you can get all the references file. Just cut those files and paste in a new file, and you can you will be creating this bibliography file within your project. This is how you can done with the project, and these are the basic 5 files. Those are required. If there's any further question right now, do let me know. I'm available there. I'm going to answer the question if there is any. Any question, guys? If no, then I think I'm going to wind up the session. But still, I'm available over WhatsApp. And if you guys have any question or concern or any issue related to your OBU project, do approach me over WhatsApp. Surely I'll be replying back. Take care, everyone, and best of luck for your OBU submission. Bye.